Hello and welcome to BikeForChrist.com. My name is Michael Baker and I want to share with you a little bit of the purpose of this website and a little of my testimony on how I came to know Christ. First off, it started in May 8th of 2011. I have my own handyman remodeling business, and at the time I just got to this point in my life where I was tired of the world. I got to see through my business a lot of companies that took advantage of their customers, a lot of the evil things that go on behind the scene of poor quality work being done for high prices. And a lot of this is seen everywhere in the world. You can see it through the media, through all these big corporations, just non-stop, everywhere you look, people take advantage of other people. So I got this desire in my heart, and this was all before I came to know God. I wanted to make a difference in the world. I wanted people to see that there really is good in this world. And at the time, I had my brother who was preaching to me daily. I had a good friend of mine who was preaching to me daily saying, "Listen, Mike, you need Jesus. You have no idea what you're missing out on. The way you're living your life is wrong." And at the time, it pushed me away from God because I felt condemned. I felt like I wasn't good enough, and it just pushed me away. Well, also what happened was my brother got radically saved in jail. He spent 36 days in jail for him to realize that there was a God. The same other friend who was preaching to me had to go through his father, I believe, taking on cancer to start to seek whether or not God was real. And I thought to myself that if God was real, I didn't want to have to wait for that tragedy. I didn't want to have to be forced to come to know Christ, to seek that desire. So it all started when my brother Tom told me, "Mike, if there is one thing I can tell you, it would be that God is love." And from there on out, I kind of got this little desire. I started watching Francis Chan videos, and he's a famous preacher, and his sermons were just right on point. He gave me this ultimate desire and love of just wanting to know more. So on May 8th of 2011, I thought to myself, if God is real, I want to find out. I want to leave all this evil, this world responsibility, the sins, all this corruptness, and I want to take a journey on my own to find out if God was real. And I thought to myself, if God was real, He was going to tell me, and He was going to take care of me, and if not, then I was going to find out the hard way. So on May 8th of 2011, I took a journey, and I left with $300 to my name, and I jumped on a bicycle from Johnstown, Ohio. I had no true destination. I didn't know where I was going to end up. I didn't know if it was going to be a week-long journey or a year-long journey. I just knew that if God was real, He was going to provide for me. So a real quick fast forward, from Johnstown, Ohio, I went from here to Niagara Falls, then on to Connecticut, over to New York, then down all the way to Naples, Florida, up to Missouri, and all the way over to San Francisco. I was gone for 141 days and rode 6,116 miles. I kept a blog. I left with a tent and a sleeping bag, and part of my journey was to build my faith and the faith of others. So this website is to share my testimony and to reach out to others to show God's love and what He did in my life. Real quick stories. I literally have countless stories of how God provided for me on my trip. As I said, I left with $300 to my name on a bicycle that was not created for what I was doing. Halfway through my trip, just a real quick story, a couple that I met, complete strangers, bought me a $1,300 bicycle to continue on my journey. I I met numerous people that every time I got down to $20, without saying a word to anybody, a random stranger handed me $100 cash. I can't even count how many times that happened. I was probably given at least $2,500 throughout my trip to continue on my journey. Starting out, I tried to call in advance to churches just to get places to camp, to sleep on their yard. 95% of churches turned me down. For the first 2 months, I called about 8 to 10 churches every single day and only got help from about 5 of them. So throughout the rest of my trip, I just quit calling churches. Most of my help came from non-believers who I just saw on the side of the road. I would ask for a place to camp. They'd bring me in, give me a guest bedroom, feed me dinner, breakfast, let me shower, do my laundry, bless me with money. I can't explain the amount of blessings God did. That's the only reason why I continued on my journey and went as far as I did and was gone for as long as I was. Throughout my trip, there were so many blessings that I just can't explain in this short video, but I have a book. And let me just tell you about the book. Coming back from my trip, I had journals and I had 250 videos that I posted online. I spoke at Gehanna Christian Academy just to share my story to the middle school kids there. And afterwards, I met with the principal there for lunch. And I was just telling him a little bit about my story and how I wanted to write a book, but I couldn't get motivated. He said, "You know what? I know somebody. Do you want to meet him?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" Knowing how God had blessed me in the ways that He did in the past, I was up for anything at this time. He took me back to his school. He interrupted a teacher's class, brought him out, and introduced me to Matthew Morgan. Matthew took it upon himself to read every single one of my journal entries, watched every single one of my videos, and wrote the book for me. So, as of about half a year ago, we self-published 141 days. God has just continued to blow my mind. So, this website that I created is to share my story and try to get as many speaking engagements as I can. I am open to traveling anywhere, and on June 1st of this year, which is 2014, me and my wife are taking a trip around the country in an RV pull behind to share my story and try to speak to as many places as I can about my testimony. My goal in life is to solely share the love of Christ. I know how much evil there is in this world, and I see it every single day. So I've got an amazing story. If you're at all interested, my contact info is at the bottom of the website. You can message me at bikeforchrist24@yahoo.com. And if you want me to speak or share my story, just contact me. I'd be willing to send you a copy of my book for no charge. Just let me know if you have any questions, and praise God for life every day, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot, and God bless.